Good day, YouTube. This is a requested video. The topic is, what are my thoughts on a credit score? So I'm going to begin by saying when I was very young, let's say between 18 and 22 years old, nobody ever gave me any advice on finances, on how to take care of my credit, how to create credit, how to manage credit, how to pay my bills. All I saw, my mom, was any bills she had every month as a little boy, she would always pay. As a little boy, I would observe that over the years. Her car payment, her mortgage, whatever other expenses she had, I was unaware of. So I didn't have that knowledge going into credit. All I knew is when you're 18, you apply for a credit card. You may get accepted, you may not. So that was all I knew. And in high school, they didn't teach that. So I've heard that in some high schools nowadays, they actually teach about finances. And if that's the case, that's great. Whether it's Dave Ramsey, whoever it is, hopefully you have had an influence, or you've been influenced by someone who has sat down and talked to you about credit and credit score and what that means. An example is my daughter is now 18, and we've talked about credit for about 2 years, or we've talked about finances, overall, big picture finances for about 2 years. And I'll quiz her sometimes, just throw it out there just to see what she says. And I'll ask her, for example, when's the good time, the only good time that you can go to a center or rent to own? And she said always. And obviously that's a joke that she's throwing right back at me because she knows about that. So let's go ahead and get started with my thoughts on credit and managing a credit score. So there are exceptions as to what I think we can have. For example, a car payment. But as a young individual, I would recommend buy something used, and if you can save $2,000, $3,000, pay cash. That would be ideal situation, because when I was 17, under 18, I bought my first car, brand new. I've only had one car, a brand new car in my life, and I was 17. I was so young that it couldn't even be financed under my name. So it was financed under my mom's friend's name, and I made the payments for 5 years. Not what I recommend. A car payment, if you have to finance a car, don't go crazy financing a car. Today, I was able to go back and teach FTech, First Term Airman Center, brand new airmen to the Air Force, but it wasn't about finances, it was about resiliency, and I had a really good time doing that. It was good to be in that environment again. My thing is this. A lot of people, you as a consumer can go out there, especially if you're a service member, even if you are 18, 19, because they know you have a contract to serve and you're going to get paid. You may go in there thinking, I just need to buy a $6,000 car that I'm going to finance, but your bank or credit union may say, we'll give you $20,000 or so. And a lot of people go out there and max out on a car. Not something I recommend. Like I said, I've been there and done that myself. Just finance a car. And if you're a young military member, regardless of branch, think of it like this. Your payment should be no more than $250, because after $250 per month, you have insurance. And if you're 18, 19, 20, very young, it could be high as well. You're gonna have full coverage, and then you have gasoline. So how much do you want from your paycheck to go out and take care of that car? The next thing is credit cards. This is where a lot of people get in trouble. I speak from experience. When I was 18, I got my first credit card. Believe it or not, I still have it. The only reason I have it, and it's closed from a long time ago, was because it was the Los Angeles Raiders, and I still have that credit card. So let's say you open up one credit card. I'm okay with that just to start building up your credit. But as a young individual, a lot of people depend on that credit card. I did when I was younger as well. And what I mean by that is I would focus on if I can actually afford the minimum payment, $13, $14, $15 per month, then I can afford whatever it is that I wanted to buy, and that's what I would do. So don't go crazy with your credit. This is specifically about credit score, so let me focus on that now. To build your credit, you're gonna have to have at least an account, something that establishes history, something that establishes payments on time consistently. And the other thing is, look at this. What's going to affect your credit score in a bad way is late payments, too many accounts, and anytime you are over 30% over what your credit limit is. Let me give you a perfect, easy example. Let's say you have one credit card and your credit limit is $10,000 on that account. And anything that you owe over 30%, in this example, $3,000 or more, it's going to impact your credit score in a negative way. Of course, I'm going to say whatever you charge, you pay off at the end of the month. That's what I do now, but I've been having credit for a long time. And I always didn't do that. I didn't always do that. So take it from me, from my experience. Remember how I said that I didn't have anyone who sat down and talked about credit and how to take care of responsibly your credit? I learned through the School of Hard Knocks, through my experiences, from collection agencies, from having a bad credit score. Credit score to me isn't important anymore. The reason is this: eventually when you buy a mortgage, a house, when you have a mortgage, that's going to help you. And maybe that's all you need. That maybe with one credit card. My wife and I have one credit card. We've had it for maybe 15, 16 years, and we've never paid interest on that. But it took some work to get there because we weren't always the way we are now with our finances, especially being very proactive. So you have a mortgage and maybe one credit card that we use for convenience. Gasoline, car repairs. We bought tires this week, a few days ago, and I get paid tomorrow again, and I'm going to go in there and whatever I owe, I'm going to wipe out. I think my credit card limit, not my credit card limit, my credit card debt right now is about $800. A few weeks ago when I made a video, it's payday, now what? It was $200 after I made my payment. So now I got to wipe that out again. It's kind of like a cycle. I use it as a convenience, but if I have something that happens, an emergency, it's not going to go on my credit card. It's going to come out of my emergency fund. So as a service member or as an individual, whether you're civilian or anyone who has a job, people are going to offer you credit all the time. I've talked to individuals who have many accounts, lines of credit, and I think that actually impacts your score in a negative way because it says that you're dependent or you could be dependent on credit, or it gives the impression that you are dependent on credit. The other thing is, how much are you paying in interest? That's not for you to answer to me, but it's something for you to think about. I would say this: where I am in my life, 44 years old, I have a mortgage, I have one car payment, and that's it, one credit card, that's it. So my credit score is in the 800s. A lot of banks, credit unions will offer you to pay $10 a month or right around there so they can give you your credit score every month. To me, that's not important. I'm not concerned with my credit because I'm not trying to get new credit. The other thing is my bank, maybe your bank does the same thing, provides your credit score for free every month on the website. Check them out. Ask them if they'll do it for free. If they don't, here's what I would recommend. You don't pay that unless you want to. You can. You don't have to do what I do all the time, but to me, it's $120 a year that I can do something else with. Here's what I would recommend. You have to, as a consumer, whether you're young or old, as long as you have credit, definitely check your credit report minimum once a year. I've made a video when I first started this channel. I was in an airplane at Peterson Air Force Base, talked about credit or credit score or something like that. But check your credit report minimum once a year. And the website that I'll put the link at the bottom that I've tested out and it's free is annualcreditreport.com. You go there, you'll have access to the three credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. You select whoever you want. That website will not give you your credit score. It will give you your credit report. To me, if I look at my credit report and everything looks good, I'm on track. Remember, I can go back to my website on my bank and get the credit score if I need it for free. If you're in the military, contact your financial counselor at your military installation, and he or she will give you a website that has, you fill out your information and it'll give you your credit score for free. I don't like paying for a credit report. I don't like paying for a credit score. I don't want anyone to monitor my credit and I have to pay for that because I can do that. You can do that as well. Let's say that in 1 year you check your credit report once a year. Okay, you pick whoever you want, but if you want to do it, you can do it up to 3 times for free. And here's an example. In January, you do whoever you want. Company A. 4 months later, Company B. 4 months later in August, company C, and that cycle returns again. It's January, April, August. January, April, August. You get that for free. And you get your credit score for free through that financial counselor, or maybe your bank or credit union will do that for you. Build your credit. Maybe have one credit card. That's it. I wouldn't recommend an account to a gas station. I would recommend one credit card that you can use worldwide, the 3 of them that are out there, the big ones, whether it's Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. The reason is because I can't use a gas station card at a video store or anywhere else unless it's that gas station. So think about that. Look at the big picture, and it's easy. I make observations, and I'm trying to get better as to not judge people. That's one of my goals. Not that I do judge people, but I make observations and I start quickly thinking, I saw that individual's wallet and it looked like he or she or that purse had maybe 5 or 6 cards. Don't know if they're debit cards or credit cards, but the more you have, the easier it is to use them, should you want to. I've talked to people that say, hey, I have my credit cards in my fridge, in the freezer, and I ask them why. It's because if I want to use it, it has to defrost, or I hide it somewhere. How about do what I do now, which I wasn't always like this. I'll be the first person to say that, is just have that control, that self-discipline, that plan of when you want to use it, when you don't. Don't go overboard on the car payment. A lot of people do that. And in here in Colorado, we get hail. So our cars are damaged right now because we had a big hailstorm just a few days ago. My car is a $3,000 car. If you have specific questions about your credit, how to build it, how to improve your credit, how to pay down or reduce your credit, I'd love to answer your questions. Just ask either in the section below or a private message, because credit is my favorite topic. And to me, interest and debt are bad words. Now, of course, I may be older than you, maybe not, but here's the thing. I'm passionate about this topic. I want to make sure that if you can learn from someone, you learn from either yourself or the people that have taught you, or learn from the examples that I share. I hope this has been helpful to you. I love when somebody asks, can you make a video about this topic? Because this one is just something that I'm really interested about. And if I can do that, I will. If I know it, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll do the research. Have a great day. You be in control of your credit. Take care.